back to the channel Home of Programming. In today's session, we will be learning a program about decision making and looping statement in C#.NET. In previous session of Java and object-oriented programming, we have discussed about decision making statements and looping statement, right? So in this particular video, we will see a single program using decision making statement as well as looping construct, right? So with no further delay, let's get into the session, right? So let's create a new project in Visual Studio by clicking on File menu, New Project, and select C# console application, right? So now we are going to create a program using looping construct and decision making statements, right? So the concept of our program is to we can write a program to guess a number which is stored in the mind of the user, right? So we may ask the user to store some number between 1 and 2, and using looping construct and decision making statement we can try to find the number which the user has stored in their mind, right? So it will be a simple guessing game, right? So for finding the number which is stored thought by the user, we can have a variable called n of type integer, right? So we are going to find a number and it is a whole number, right? It is an integer, so we can have a variable n of type integer, right? And as I told you before, we are going to make looping construct here. So for looping construct we may have another one variable called I. So if you don't want to use I here, you can skip that because we don't know the value of n exactly, right? Hence we can use looping construct with this particular n variable also, right? So now what we are going to do is, I'm going to create a statement. So just intimate the user to think of a number from 1 to 10, right? Think any number from 1 to 10, right? So this is a simple print statement and it is showing us error, right? So we can't have any statement except declaration or definition inside a class itself, right? Hence we can create a function. So let's say guess of. So to create a function, the syntax used is return type followed by function name of, right? So we can cut and paste this code inside our function. So we have printed a line, think any number from 1 to 10, right? So now we need to find a logic for finding that particular number which resides in the mind of the user, right? So as we have told at the start of the game itself, think any number from 1 to 10. The user will not think any number out of 10 or before 1, right? That is 0 or any negative number, right? So the user is going to think any number from 1 to 10, right? So from this numbers 1 to 10, we can split into two types. One is add numbers and the other one is even number, right? So we can have separate logic for calculating even numbers and separate logic for calculating add numbers, right? So here what we can do is, we can make use of another one print statement and we can ask the user whether the number they have thought is even or odd. Depending on that particular input, we can have our logic, right? So now what I am going to do is, I am going to ask the user whether the number they have thought is even or odd, right? So is it an even number, right? So for reading this particular value from user, we can have another one option called option itself, right? So let the variable be of character type char option, right? So here we need to store the value which is entered by the user in a particular variable, which is here option is equal to convert dot to char, right? So here our variable opt is of type char, hence we are going to convert it into character type of console dot read line of, right? So now we have asked and read the value from the user to determine whether the number they are having in their mind is even or odd, right? In case if the number thought by the user is even, right? So now we can have a for loop here. N is equal to 2, n less than or equal to 10. So why we are having less than or equal to symbol here is 10 is also an even number, right? So n equal to 2, 2 is a smallest even number greater than 0, right? So n less than or equal to 10, we can increment the value, right? So n plus plus, right? So in this for loop, we are going to determine whether the number entered by the user is we are going to find the number entered by the user, right? So if it is add, we can have n equal to 1 and n less than 9, n plus plus, right? So we are incrementing the number by 1. So in these two loops, all the numbers will come, right? So that is 2 to 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9 and 10 will come inside this loop, right? So for that, we can change the condition as n modulo 2 equal to 0, right? So we need to find this condition as well as for add number n modulo 2 not equal to 0, right? So now we can first find out the number if it comes under the category of even number, right? So again we may ask the user whether the number entered by which is thought by the user is a smallest of all even numbers greater than 0, right? So if this statement is true, the number which is thought by the user will obviously be 2, right? So for that, I am going to ask the user console.writeLine of is the number smallest of all even numbers greater than 0, right? So, and we can have option variable to store the value. So we have read the value from the user if it is smallest, and if the user enters yes for this particular option, obviously the number can be 0, right? So if opt equal to y, so if the user enters the value y, right? So if opt is equal to yes, console dot write line of the number is 2, right? So we can have one break statement. So if this particular statement is true, we can stop our execution, right? If this condition is true, if this condition is false, we may need to find the number using some other logic, right? So console dot write line of is the number cubic root of 2. So if it is this particular statement is true, the number can be 8, right? Because 2 cube is equal to 8, right? So again we can copy this if block and paste it here, right? So the number is 2. And again, if this condition is false, this particular if loop is false, we may again ask the user if it is a 2-digit number, right? Is it a 2-digit number? So from 1 to 10, 10 is the only 2-digit number, right? So is it a 2-digit number? So if the user press Y here, the number should be 10, right? So the remaining numbers between 2 and 10 even numbers is only 4 and 6 is here, right? And again, if this condition is false, we may again ask the user, is the number comes in first row of 4 table, right? So if this is true, the number should be 4, and when this particular condition false, the number should be 6, right? So else the number should be 4, right? Sorry, 6. So this is a very simple logic we have used to find the number, right? So but as we are in the beginning stage, I am using this logic, right? And moreover, to be frank, this for loop is not needed, right? And in this case of program, so but I have used for loop only to demonstrate the looping construct and decision making statement. But you can execute this set of program even without looping construct. Like you can have nested if or nested switch case statement to execute such programs, right? So why I have used for loop here is just to demonstrate the for loop and other looping construct, right? So we have find the number if it is a case of even number. So similarly, if it is add number, so we can just copy this set of coding and we can paste it for add number, and we can make changes wherever necessary, right? So n equal to 1. So inside a for loop, is the number smallest of all add numbers, right? So if this is true, the number should be 1. And similarly, is the number the add numbers remaining are 3, 5, 7 and 9, right? So for 5, is the number divisible by 5? We may ask the user whether the number is divisible by 5. So out of other add numbers such as 3, 5, 7 and 9, 5 is the only number which is divisible by 5, right? So hence the number should be 5, right? So if this statement goes false, we may ask the user that is the number divisible by 9. Divisible by 7, right? So similarly, the number divisible by 7 is only 7 inside 3, 7 and 9, right? So again we may ask, is the number comes in first row of third table. So or we may ask, is the number cubic root of 3? Is the number cubic root of 3? Sorry, square root of. So 3 square is 9, right? Is the number square root of 3? We can write it as the number is 9, and if this is false, the number should be 3 itself, right? So now we have completed our logic of finding the number which is stored in the mind of user between 1 and 10, right? Again I am saying this is a very simple logic, and this particular logic involves lot of coding, right? So with a fewer lines of coding also we can do this particular program, right? So this is up to the user, this is up to the developer perspective, right? So why I have used here for loop is just to demonstrate the execution of your for loop, right? And to be very frank, in this particular case your for loop will not executed, right? So only the for loop will get executed only once, as we are having break statement inside every if classes inside a for loop, right? And the purpose of break statement is to stop the execution of program at that particular instant, right? So when the compiler finds a break statement in your program, it will stop the execution of program at that particular instance itself, right? And one more thing about break statement is this break statement should be included inside a looping construct itself. Here I am having for loop, inside that for loop I am having if class, if statement, inside that if I am using break statement. So this is right. So if I am using a simple if here, right? So if n equal to 2, if I am writing break statement, it will leads into a error, right? So we can't have a break statement inside a simple if classes, right? So now we have separated the logic for even number and add number, right? So but we have just created the logic separately for even and add numbers, but we didn't actually separate it, right? The reason is at this particular step we have prompted the user to enter whether the guessed number is even or odd, right? So if that is even number, this set of for loop should get executed. For that we can have a if construct here. If the option is yes, inside this if loop we can have this particular for loop of guessing a even number, right? So we have pasted that. Similarly, if this particular if condition goes false, we can execute the logic of add numbers, right? So we can have it here, right? So we can just cut and paste the for loop logic of finding the add number inside this particular else block, right? So now we can save our program and run it. So initially it is asking whether the number is a even number. So we can think a number of 6, right? So 6 is a even number. I am giving yes. Is the number smallest of all even numbers greater than 0? So it is not a smallest even number. So I am giving n. Is it a cubic root of 2? No. Is it a 2-digit number? No. Is the number comes in first row of the fourth table? Yes. Sorry, no. So we have thought of 6, right? So it is not coming in fourth table, right? So the number is 6. So with that our program gets stopped, right? That is the execution gets stopped here, right? So in this way you can create a program for finding the number which is stored in the mind of user, right? So this is not only the way, there are multiple ways for creating a same program, right? So it is up to the perspective of developer, right? And the program which we have created now is not so much efficient as it involves so much lines of repeated coding, right? So in our upcoming videos I will explain you how to create this program in fewer lines of coding, right? So and moreover we can guess a number not only from 1 to 10 from random of any set of integers, right? So with this we can conclude this session and we can have an interesting concept in our next series of .NET session. Until then, stay tuned with Home of Programming and subscribe to our channel if you like our videos. Thank you.